being a clutch team, clutch players, making plays, learning from stuff, growing and developing. But it's tremendous. I'm happy for Mike Walter and the franchise, but I also understand that there's still a lot of basketball to be left, and there's still a lot of growth that's necessary for this team. It's just nice to be growing after some wins and then some people developing.
So now you can set your sights on having the best. Excuse me. I mean, there's one more. Now you can set your sights on having the best record in the league, maybe best record in the conference.
No, that's what you guys can do. I'm going to set my sights on trying to stop Angel McCoughtry, trying to not let the Atlanta Dream. Seriously, I mean, listen, they look like bees just swarming. I don't care what they did tonight. I know what they're about. I know Tiffany Hayes is back. I know they lead the league in steals. I know their transition game. It's like I was watching video and I thought I had it on a faster speed. It was going so fast. And now they're coming off a loss and they're going back home. So that's what I have to focus on. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Even during this stretch, we were playing 4 games in 7 days. So we really, I don't want to say caught up, but we didn't really have time to breathe and think about, you know, the other stuff. I mean that's probably horrible for me to say, but we're just really trying to get healthy and then really maximize the 4 games in 7 days with amount of practice, video, rest, ice bath, and all that. But the key right now is figuring out a way to beat Atlanta. Last time we were there, we got our butts kicked, so we have to make sure we're ready.
Courtney, the growth that you're seeing from year 1 to year 3.
Yeah, thank you for recognizing that, because sometimes, you know, she's taking a beating on both ends, but she's put in the time. You know, a lot of times at 3rd year they start turning the corner, but Sue never had the benefit of having someone in front of her because of Dominique's injury, Tisha's injury, so she had to learn some tough lessons under the lights. But she's worked, you know. I mean, she shows up every day for me to put in some work, be it video, be it shooting, just talking about the game. But I like the fact that she's become really good defensively, because she's giving people trouble initiating their offense. You know, so if they're taking extra 5 seconds to initiate, it really gets our defense turned up. So I'm happy about that. The thing for me is she's looking for a shot. She's becoming a threat. I think she had 10 and 7 tonight. Last 5 games she's been about 14 and 7, and that's what we need, because we don't want to be a one-handed snake. We want to have a lot of options out there on the floor so we can spread it, move the ball around, and play off of each other.
How happy are you for Sylvia right now?
I'm ecstatic. You know, go back, she's 14 years old, go back to being at LSU, go back to coaching in Russia, come back here. She battled some little nagging injuries. I don't even want to say nagging, they were serious injuries, but she just worked through them, you know. Lived in the training room, lived in the pool, did whatever she had to do. Even when we weren't having the success, she was just grinding away, watching the video with Tree, talking to Carolyn, putting in extra work, and I'm excited for her because, like you said, she had experienced this, and I have a personal connection just from the length of our relationship that goes way back. So I'm happy for Sylvia, but also everybody in this franchise.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
How would you assess the team's level of hunger at this point, in just entering into the first playoff?
I think the hunger is the fact that we haven't put together 40 minutes of a consistent defensive effort. So I can always challenge him with that. You know, I'm sitting here saying that we put up 80, but I can always challenge him defensively, and I like that because we're going to need to play different ways. You know, you're not going to always be able to trap Cap. You got to mix and change things up, and it's not just one person, not just Tamara Young, it's not just Courtney Vandersloot. It's that team defense that we're going to need, because you think about the number of teams in this league, we played each other 3, 4, 5 times, and it's really familiar, so you got to be able to dial the defense up a notch and be a little bit better than your opposition.
Your game plan against Cappie Pondexter, I assumed early on, was to send somebody at her and get the ball out of her hands?
We had 3 different things for Cappie. I don't want to divulge it. You probably go watch it.
Whatever they were, they worked. She got 3 points.
Yeah, but you know, we were fortunate because you always have a game plan for Cappie. She got some open looks, but I thought the fact that she only had 3 attempts at half was good for us. But what you have to do is you have to marry that to making good offensive players play defense. You know, maybe they get a little bit tired, but you know, Cappie is a tremendous player, so I wish I could say I had one plan. It was about 3 different things. You don't want her to get a rhythm, because I mean, she's the type of player that they can run a play, but when it breaks down, she can make a play. So just tonight, we came up on a good end of that.
Could you comment on Worley's play tonight?
Can I comment? Yes, I can. you know, she's put in the time. We're not just rushing her and throwing things at her. You know, like every day we practice, we're giving her 3 or 4 new plays, but she's physical. She's a defensive presence. You can't bury her in the paint. She gets deflections, and for what we're going to need, that's good because she has that size. You look at what we have to play tomorrow. You know, I mean, so she's a big body. It was nice to be able to rest some people, but it's nice to have quality minutes on the defensive end when those people are spelling like a Sylvia Fowles.
Thank you.